After watching Sonic 3 in theaters, I can definitively say that it is my favorite installment from the franchise so far. The film takes a harsh pivot into some of Sonic's darker storylines with the introduction of Shadow and Gerald Robotnik. The brand new antagonists are driven by revenge for their beloved Maria, putting the world in significant jeopardy. I loved watching Sonic come face to face with such dangerous forces and forego his own morals for the chance to defeat them. Knowing that Sonic 4 will need to surpass this narrative to keep audiences engaged for future films, I'm eager to see where the story will take Sonic next and how his battle with Metal Sonic will conclude. In today's video, I'll discuss 4 possible endings for Sonic 4. Number 1. Metal Sonic's defeat. With each Sonic film, his enemies become stronger than before. For example, in the most recent Sonic 3, Sonic faces off against the world's ultimate life form, otherwise known as Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow has extreme speed, strength, and intellect, making him the perfect rival for Team Sonic. His ambition and deeply personal motivations for threatening the world make him twice as compelling as Robotnik was in the previous installments. Unlike Robotnik, who was willing to cut and run when things didn't go his way, Shadow was unwilling to back down until he realized his actions would ridicule Maria's memory, not respect it. Shadow's story is why Sonic 3 is the best film so far. So to one-up the most recent antagonist requires a new character to debut in the next film. The mid-credit scene gave the audience a taste of this new villain as Sonic found himself surrounded by an army of robotic lookalikes. The army of robots is the first introduction to Metal Sonic, a notorious enemy of everyone's favorite hedgehog. Metal Sonic is widely regarded as Dr. Robotnik's magnum opus and his greatest invention. The bloodthirsty and ever-evolving robot is designed to defeat Sonic, with few things capable of diverting him from his goal. As he's modeled after Sonic in every way, Metal Sonic can match his strength and speed. In the instances where his enemy defeats him, Metal Sonic will take time to recover, undergo enhancements, and return to the battlefield stronger than before. One of the most interesting parts of Metal Sonic's character is that there are times when he will deviate from his creator's plan if he believes doing so will help him achieve his ultimate goal. Unlike Sonic's other enemies, Metal Sonic doesn't have human attachments or morals that could convince him to abandon his plans. The lack of these human traits makes him incredibly dangerous. That said, I doubt Sonic 4 will have a bad ending, meaning that Sonic will defeat Metal Sonic even if his success is hard-won. I suspect that Metal Sonic may find himself destroyed or wounded enough that he no longer seems like a threat. However, if Sonic doesn't completely destroy him, then Metal Sonic could return in another film with an even deeper need for revenge. The expansion of Team Sonic. Although he was initially a standalone hero in the first film, Sonic's character has always been surrounded by friends and allies he could depend on. The sequel dedicated time to building some of these lifelong friendships and establishing the groundwork for Team Sonic. Sonic was also meant to find friendship with Tails and Knuckles, even though the three found themselves at odds in the past. Team Sonic is the most notorious group in the Sonic franchise, and each member's abilities greatly complement one another. One of the best parts of Sonic 3 was seeing how far Team Sonic had grown and watching them learn how to depend on one another. I greatly respect Tails during this film because he never lost sight of what it means to be a team player and showed that everyone was valued, even though Sonic seemed like the de facto leader. Toward the end of the film, Sonic chooses to temporarily abandon his friends and use the Chaos Emeralds to enhance himself for a final fight with Shadow. Naturally, even with the Chaos Emerald on his side, Sonic is weaker when he stands alone. Once the Chaos Emeralds were no longer available to help him, he found himself in a life-or-death situation as his unconscious body plummeted toward Earth. The only thing standing between him and certain death are the other Team Sonic members who arrived just in time to save his life. After that moment, Sonic showed appreciation for his friends and acknowledged that they work better together. The third film worked hard to further establish Team Sonic and allow each member to learn the value of depending on one another. Now that the three have that foundation, they have the trust and experience necessary to expand their group and introduce new members into their team. As I stated before, Sonic has many allies, so it's only natural that Sonic's team will grow over time. Now that Sonic has gained a better understanding of his former enemy Shadow, the other hedgehog might have a genuine chance at redemption by joining the heroes and dedicating his life to protecting Earth. The mid-credit scene of the last film also introduced Amy Rose into the franchise, a longtime friend of Sonic and his potential love interest. If anyone were to join Team Sonic and introduce a new dynamic into their group, it would be her.
Talk about low-budget flights. No food or movies? We're out of here.
Number 3, the introduction of a new villain. Although the first two films took the time to establish Dr. Robotnik as the franchise's primary villain, he has taken a back seat to the other characters in the most recent film. Following his defeat in Sonic 2, Robotnik went into hiding, seemingly abandoning his many creations and plans for world domination. He spent his time in a secret underwater base while watching soap operas and didn't seem eager to return to normal life until approached by Team Sonic. In the third film, he has a brief redemption arc where he helps the heroes locate his missing creations. Unfortunately, he quickly changes sides when he connects with his long-lost grandfather, who encourages him to help steal the Eclipse Cannon passkey from Gun. In the film, he shares the antagonist role with other characters such as Gerald and Shadow, who are arguably more threatening and of greater concern to Sonic. Not to mention, at the end of the film, Robotnik has a change of heart and forfeits his life for the chance to save Earth from the implosion of the Eclipse Cannon. The credits scene strongly suggests that the franchise aims to replace Robotnik as the primary antagonist in the next film. With Metal Sonic taking center stage, it's currently unknown if Robotnik is dead. But if he doesn't return at the end of Sonic 4, the film will need to introduce a brand new villain to take his and Metal Sonic's place. Many characters could debut in the next credit scene, which could project the franchise into a new and exciting direction. Some characters that come to mind include Silver the Hedgehog, the alien warlord Black Doom, the group of thieves known as the Babylon Rogues, and even Rouge the Bat, who is known for helping forces of good and evil.
There's two Eggmen now?
Double your villains, double your fun. Two Robotniks are way worse than one.
Number 4. Traveling to Mobius. There's no denying that Sonic's home first and foremost is planet Earth. He has spent most of his life on Earth and has built a family with Team Sonic, Tom and Maddie. I doubt that he would do anything to jeopardize his new home or put his family at risk. But that doesn't mean he can't travel to new worlds and locations to further the scope of the film franchise. Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Shadow, and Amy all hail from the same planet. And while some have more memories of living there than others, there's no denying they all share one origin. It makes sense that most films take place on Earth, but with so many anthropomorphic characters on the predominantly human planet, there is bound to be a moment when they decide to travel back to their home planet and meet others just like them. Countless Sonic characters have not made their debut in the films yet, and that's likely because they're still on Mobius, living completely different lives. While Earth will always be Sonic's home, I believe returning to Mobius, even if it's just to revisit where Longclaw raised him, could be a pivotal moment for his character, and would open the door for new characters and stories. Honestly, I'm putting my money on this one.
Use one. Never stop running. Now go!
As the previous video games loosely inspired the film franchise, it's easy to guess the direction the next film will take and how its story could conclude. Fortunately, the films take some liberties to reinvent characters and their stories, making them unique and enjoyable to watch. There's no telling where Sonic and his allies could end up next, or which enemies they will meet before the end of Sonic 4. That said, I am hopeful that new enemies will be introduced and the opportunity to explore new planets will arise. Given the current popularity of the Sonic films, we may see all of this and more in the future, as I suspect numerous sequels and potential series could emerge over time.
Tails, you and Stone go left. Knuckles, you take the middle. Eggman, you and me go right.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Your strength, your smarts, and my speed together. That's how we win.